Little as Geppetto's house was, it was neat and comfortable. It was a small room on the ground floor with a tiny window under the stairway. As soon as he reached home, Geppetto took his tools and began to cut and shape the wood into a marionette. "What shall I call him?" he said to himself. "I think I'll call him Pinocchio." No sooner was it finished than it began to laugh and poke fun at him. "Stop laughing," Geppetto said angrily. But he might as well have spoken to the wall. "Pinocchio, you wicked boy," he cried out. "You start out by being impudent to your poor old father. Very bad, my son. Very bad." He took hold of the marionette under the arms and put him on the floor to teach him to walk. Pinocchio's legs were so stiff he could not move them. And Geppetto held his hand and showed him how to put one foot after the other. When his legs were limbered up, Pinocchio came to the open door, and with one leap he was out into the street. Away he flew. Poor Geppetto ran after him, but was unable to catch him. "Catch him!" Geppetto kept shouting. One person after another gathered around the two, saying, "Geppetto looks like a good man, but with boys he's a real tyrant. If we leave that poor marionette in his hands, he may tear him to pieces." They said so much that finally the policeman dragged Geppetto to prison. "Ungrateful boy, to think I tried so hard to make you a well-behaved marionette." Very little time did it take to get poor old Geppetto to prison. In the meantime, that rascal Pinocchio, free now, was running wildly across fields and meadows. But his happiness lasted only a short time, for just then he heard someone saying, "Who is calling me?" asked Pinocchio. "I am." Pinocchio turned and saw a large cricket crawling slowly up the wall. "Tell me, cricket, who are you?" "I am the talking cricket, and I refuse to leave this spot until I have told you a great truth. Woe to boys who refuse to obey their parents and run away from home. They will never be happy in this world, and when they are older they will be very sorry for it." At these last words, Pinocchio jumped up in a fury, took a hammer from the bench and threw it with all his strength at the talking cricket. And, sad to relate, my dear children, he did hit the cricket, straight on its head. With a last weak, the poor cricket fell from the wall, dead. If the cricket's death scared Pinocchio at all, it was only for a few moments. He turned to look, and behold, there in the darkness stood two big black shadows, wrapped from head to foot in black sacks. The two figures leaped toward him as softly as if they were ghosts. He tried to run away, but hardly had he taken a step when he heard two horrible, deep voices say to him, "Your money or your life." He freed himself from the claws of the assailants, and, leaping over the bushes along the road, ran swiftly across the fields. As he ran, the marionette felt more and more certain that he would have to give himself up into the hands of his pursuers. Suddenly, he saw a little cottage gleaming white as the snow among the trees of the forest. In despair, Pinocchio began to kick and bang against the door. At the noise, a window opened and a lovely maiden looked out. With a voice so weak that it could hardly be heard, she whispered, "No one lives in this house. Everyone is dead. No one lives in this house. Everyone is dead." "Won't you at least open the door for me?" cried Pinocchio in a beseeching voice. "I also am dead." "Dead? What are you doing at the window then?" "I am waiting for the coffin to take me away." After these words, the little girl disappeared, and the window closed without a sound. "Open, I beg of you. Take pity on a poor boy who is being chased by two assassins." He did not finish, for two powerful hands grasped him by the neck and the same two horrible voices growled threateningly. "Now we have you." The marionette still hoped for some good soul to come to his rescue, but no one appeared. He thought of his poor old father, and hardly conscious of what he was saying, murmured to himself, "Oh, Father, dear Father, if you were only here." These were his last words.